Hello, and welcome to Semi-Relevant News. Today, I am your host, Jordan, and this is my cohort,
Anne.
And today, we're going to talk to you about very many important news topics that are happening around the world. Now, to give you a background on the Baltimore protest, it all started with Freddie Gray, who was killed in custody. He was detained by the police while he was talking in mere daylight with his friends. His spinal cord was broken, and he went into a coma and died. The police take full responsibility for the mere fact that they did not transport him to the hospital in a timely manner. Recent police brutality and Gray's death sparked protests in Baltimore. Now, I'm going to tell you some facts about Maryland itself and its history with police brutality. In Maryland, 109 people have been killed by police brutality since 2010 to 2014. 75 were African Americans, and 1/3 of the citizens of Maryland are African Americans. Only 2 police were charged out of the 109 cases. 401 of the 109 victims have showed medical distress from those attacks. 6 officers were charged of the murder of Freddie Gray, and as thousands of national troops fled into Baltimore, a curfew has been placed on Baltimore. Anybody who is outside after 10 p.m. will be pepper sprayed if they are seen by the police. And this has majorly affected the economy in Baltimore, as people cannot make their jobs and people cannot sell after 10 p.m. And protests have been quite violent with peaceful spouts, but it's still cause for concern, which has brought in the National Guards. Many people are upset because they believe the charged criminals will not be convicted.
On a happy note, across the pond, the Duchess of Cambridge has given birth to a new princess and is now the 4th in line of the throne. The succession of the House of Windsor has shifted. The new baby girl was born on May 2, 8:34 a.m. and will be named Charlotte Elizabeth Diana and will be formally known as Her Royal Highness Princess Charlotte. And happy news to the new parents of a second baby.
Isn't that quite interesting? You said they had them in Paddington?
Yes.
Did the Paddington Bear deliver that baby?
Maybe.
Maybe. For all you sports fans out there, I'm sure you guys know that the NFL draft took place April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. It was kicked off with the first round pick, Jameis Winston, the quarterback from FSU, who won the Heisman of 2013. He was chosen by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The second pick of the first round was Marcus Mariota, a quarterback from the University of Oregon, who won this year's Heisman Trophy. He was chosen by the Tennessee Titans. Now, something very special happened at this year's draft. FSU actually broke the record for the amount of draft picks in a 3-year period, with 29 picks, topping USC's and Miami's 28 picks in a 3-year record. 11 FSU players were picked. In the entire draft, 256 football players were drafted.
On a serious note, Indonesia, Bali 9 ringleaders Miran Sakumaran and Andrew Chan were executed via firing squad in Indonesia on the Nusambangan prison island on April 28, 2015. After countless pleas from the Australian government and the Australian people, the Indonesian government still refused to hand the men over. The men are Australian citizens. Approximately 25 minutes after the execution, the lawyer tweeted, "I failed, I lost, I am sorry. The bodies are on their way for proper burial to Australia."
Oh man, Anne, that's really sad.
Yep, firing squad, that's a really tough death penalty, would you say?
Yeah, I do say. Now back to America, the greatest country on earth. Now there are 8 people that have announced that they're running for president. First, we have Ted Cruz, who is a Republican U.S. Senator from Texas. Then we have Hillary Clinton, a Democrat former Secretary of State, who happens to be the wife of former President Bill Clinton. Then there's Rand Paul, a Republican Senator from Kentucky. Next, we have Carly Fiorina, a Republican who happens to be a former CEO of Hewlett & Packard. Marco Rubio is a Republican U.S. Senator from this state of Florida. Bernie Sanders is a Democrat who is a U.S. Senator of Vermont. Next, we have Ben Carson, a Republican who happens to be a retired neurosurgeon. And we just got word that Mike Huckabee, a former presidential candidate, is deciding to run again. So all in all, we have 8 candidates, and it's only going to get larger. Get ready, America.
That's a lot of people, Jordan.
I know. Why don't you run for president, Anne? I think you'd make a great president.
I think it's because I was born outside of the United States that I am not qualified.
And also because you're only 18. But rules are rules, right?
Yeah. So on another note, Nepal. April 25, 2015 at 4:25 in the morning, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit the mountainous region of Nepal. And the death toll of the earthquake is around 7,000 with 14,000 more injured. And it's only getting worse because there's another earthquake that is coming or has come. And the massive earthquake left the Nepalese capital of Kathmandu in heaps of rubble. Citizens have resulted to sleeping outside together because of fear of their house collapsing. Help has fortunately come to help everybody and aid for all those who are injured or in need of help to get out of the rubble. Since most of the Nepalese villages are very remote, a lot of them are just now receiving help even though it has happened weeks ago. Nepal is very much in need of supplies to treat the injured and people need food. About 3 million people are hungry right now and just donating $2 will help the cause. So if anyone wants to be a good helper, just donate $2 to the American Red Cross and that will be delivered over to Nepal who really need it.
It's just $2, guys. You can donate $3.
You can do it! Don't be stingy.
For the children.
For the children.
Now we're going to go all the way to the other side of the country in Hollywood. Hollywood. It's a Hollywood. It's a Hollywood. Now, many of you guys have heard of Bruce Jenner, who happens to be the husband of Kris Jenner, who happens to be the mother of Kim Kardashian, the famous sex fan and sex tape star. Now, if you didn't know this, in his former years, Bruce Jenner was also an Olympian. Just for you guys to get the image of who this guy is, I will insert a picture right here. Now, Bruce Jenner has been in the tabloids a lot recently because apparently he is transforming himself into a woman, that he is transgender. At first, personally, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was just another tabloid story that was untrue. But as the months have gone on, it has become very clear that this is no longer a joke and that Bruce Jenner really is undergoing surgery to become an official woman. Now, many people are kind of disgusted by this. They shouldn't have the right to be, but they are disgusted by this. Many people have taken into social media saying things like, quote, Bruce Jenner is a man, not a woman, unquote. There have been many attacks against Bruce Jenner and his family. And even Kylie and Kendall Jenner have been under distress. But is it really distress or are they just happy? Many reports say that Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner are actually very proud of their father, that he's finally coming out with who he truly is, that he's finally comfortable in his own skin. And that's what's really all about, right? We should all be comfortable in our own skin. So if undergoing this sex operation will make him feel better, then we should all support him. You go, Bruce Jenner. Back to you, Anne.
Legendary physicist Stephen Hawking spoke at the Sydney Opera House, appearing on stage as a 3D hologram from his physical location in Cambridge in the UK. Hawking spoke about the mysteries of the universe and the future of our planet, but among the profound things Hawking had to say, a questioner asked, what do you think is the cosmological effect of Zayn leaving One Direction and consequently breaking the hearts of millions of teenage girls across the world? Hawking responded perfectly and said, my advice to any heartbroken young girl is to pay close attention to the study of theoretical physics, because one day there may well be proof of a multiple universe. If it would be beyond the realms of possibility that somewhere outside of our own universe lies another different universe, and in that universe, Zayn is still in One Direction. You do you, Stephen Hawking!
Now that's all for today's news on semi-relevant news. I'm your host, Jordan, and this is my cohort,
Anna.
And I'm glad you tuned in with us today. If you find any of our stuff semi-relevant, you should leave a comment below, and have a good day.
Bye.
people have been on Twitter saying, quote, Bruce Jenner is a man, not a woman. Bruce Jenner is a man, not a woman. Many people are upset. Jameis Winston, the quarterback from FSU, who won the Heisman of 2013. He was chosen by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Still refused to give or hand over the men over.
We have to redo that.
Shiz!
Sorry.
The prince is late, mother. Should I just restart that? I was going on a good roll.
To Kris Jenner, who happens to be the mother of Kim Kardashian, the famous sex fiend.
Quote, Bruce Jenner is a man, not a woman, unquote.